11 and 1. It was one of his disciples. And let's talk about this some more. It happened that while Jesus was praying in a certain place, when he had finished, one of his disciples said to him, Lord, teach us to pray, just as John also taught his disciples to pray. And so when it says one of his disciples in this verse, it's really giving us an indication that there's a specific lone disciple of Jesus who is not identified and not identified by name. Not that he's nameless. We know who the 12 are, and we can keep that in mind, but he's not identified by name. And even though he's not identified by name, it doesn't mean we can assume, like in the Gospel of John, that it's the disciple whom the Lord loved, or any other indicator, or that it's Peter or James or John. It's just someone who's not identified in this passage. And I hope we can live with that and not go into our, biblical detective work and try to figure it out. It's just an unnamed disciple. Accept it for what it is. And so this disciple also appears to speak for the whole group when he says, teach us to pray. He doesn't ask for it as a request for just teach me to pray. Teach us to pray. And I think that that's important when we look at this, that's where the request is coming. And he says, teach us to pray, and not just how to pray, but just as John, speaking of John the Baptist, taught his disciples to pray, right? And so in the request, he says, teach us to pray, just as John also taught his disciples. And there's an indication there that John the Baptist had taught his disciples how to pray as well.